insane.
No, it's worse on Twitch.
Yeah, but it's worse on Twitch. Yeah.
It's way worse on Twitch because they have Just Dance.
What?
They have Just Dance, Rock Band, stuff like that. They can't play those. They can't play that anymore because all the artists are demonetizing their shit.
Oh shit! Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you guys agreed to having it on the video game.
Yeah, but that was before Twitch became a huge thing.
Oh,
so I mean that's a different format. That's we are maybe going up on Twitch right now, Rizz. We appear to be on the YouTube, according to this.
Let me see.
As soon as I verify we're out here, we'll get going.
I'll do my best to keep this discussion somewhat
there
PG.
We are.
Even though the subject matter may not be PG, I'll try to.
Are you kidding me? No, we got parental discretion. What are you talking about?
Okay.
You can do whatever you want. Whoa. Okay. You can do... Hold on a second. You can do whatever you want as long as it's not offensive. How do we used to put that, Rizz? Offensive to people language, I guess.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, I mean, again, I
don't
always
say
bring
something
up
you're going to get canceled for.
Yeah.
I think that's the new line.
Because I always remember one of the very first times I was actually like watching the show live was the Blog TV one where Jimmy DeMarco just showed his butt.
Also, don't show your butt.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see
that. Was the very last Blog TV video I think you guys posted on there.
I mean, none of us are dudders, so we're not going to show our butt.
No. That was the greatest. That's the first thing I saw on social media, was Katie flashing the city, one last time, the entire city. One last time before they took her boobies today. Do you need background on that? You know what we're talking about. Yeah, okay. She had surgery for her breast cancer. Is the point?
Yeah, no, that was. I mean, I saw that. I was like,
and she is home and already did a video and recovering. So it's over on her social. So keep an eye out for that. So all right, let's do a show. How about we do a show? I know we're going to talk about Raw Underground. I'm just going to go from there and we'll see what happens.
That can be your segue because I'm like the master of underground bar fights, basically.
Help me out. Were you on this show last, or did we do an Indie Mayhem show?
It might have been the Indie Mayhem. Okay, it was the one where Matt was doing his wheel gimmick, Space Jail.
Okay, you're part of that. You kind of like hopped on with somebody else that was on too, right?
Yeah, Bro was here. I rode Bro, and you were just like, yeah, you're on the show. I was like,
okay.
Awesome.
And I think we talked to you about deathmatch then too. So.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, anytime George is around, I'm going to ask him like weird deathmatch questions. Right, so
this is just a good sign because it means that my attempt at branding has worked.
I don't know. It's worked with me, so I don't know if that means it's worked or it's just I'm entertained by it. Which I don't know. That might be one and the same. I don't know.
It's definitely one of the most interesting things you can say when people ask what your hobby is.
Are you still petting the dog, or am I watching an old video?
Oh no, he's over there.
Where'd he go?
Right there. He's on your shirt.
Yeah. It's just he loves my shirt. I didn't check. We're back on Facebook apparently. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone else.
Yeah, I
started in terms of chat, but
I see people on there. I just need to reshare again.
Okay.
And then we'll get going.
Oh, Sword. Guess who's in our chat? Hot local mom.
What?
Who? Huh?
What?
Remember last week?
No, I don't. What are we talking about?
How my Twitch has always had like problems with Twitch bots.
Oh, you're talking about the Twitch chat. I'm just like,
yeah,
my Twitch chat. I was say in Facebook, I don't see anyone in chat.
I was like, are you,
let's do that.
Is that people that I know in the chat right now? Because that's awkward.
There we go.
Now I got a watch party going. Now we're rocking. All right, let's do a show.
I just wanted to throw it out there, Sword.
So thank you for that. I think. All right, recording. God, we've been recording for 2 minutes. It is the wait.
Good job, George.
Yeah.
Every time you had that lead up, it's just.
Wrestling Mayhem Show 526 Tuesdays. We talk about professionalized wrestling or fake underground fighting. Who knows? Either way, we got a crew with us to talk about that. Some more real than others. So, first of all, on the line, back with us 2 weeks in a row, man, the Rizz of RizzPlaysGames.
That's a record right now, isn't it?
That is a record. I love dancing Lee Moriarty in the background. That is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Switch over going on.
There he is, right? Oh, wait. Yep,
There he is. There he is. He's all around. He's got stuff going on. There he is.
I was looking at the Twitch chat. I'm like, where's my arm? Where's my hand? I'm not pointing at it.
Why is nothing lining up? I don't get this right now. Also with us, doing a twofer on podcast tonight because he also helped fill in since everybody apparently went to the hospital today on AwesomeCast. Dave Podnar of the Tiny Shutter Podcast with us.
I'm glad to be back on, having the block on tonight.
That's right, full block. I try not to make anybody sit in a chair for as long as I do on Tuesday nights, but Dave's apparently all about it. He's apparently got a much more comfortable chair, which has got to be easy because I have an Armageddon folding chair from Mellon Arena, so I'm sitting on Batista's.
Is that from like 2009?
Something like that. I'm sitting on Batista's face all night. But also with us. No adequate segue I can give him. It is deathmatch referee extraordinaire George Ross is with us, back, I think, for the first time since Mayhem Mania.
Been quite a yeah. It's probably been about, when was that? December, probably. January?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Also, no stranger to things that are underground, so it's kind of a perfect timing to have you on this week.
Indeed.
So, but this is the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Please check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com where you can find this and other episodes. The Monday Mayhem Warriors podcast returned last night. I know. I said on hiatus until further notice. It was a week. That's fine. But we had Mad Mike back on the show. We had Mainstream Matt on the show because we had to talk about what Raw was about. And also, we had to follow up because we all had watched Wrestling Society X on Friday night in a impromptu watch-along that we did. You should, too. It's on YouTube. Well, our watch-along is on Facebook, but the Wrestling Society X is on YouTube. You don't have to buy the DVDs for $20 like Mad Mike and I did. So just putting that out there. But
what episode did you watch?
We watched we watched all 10.
Oh.
No, we watched all 10. We watched all 10.
So it was about 6.5, 7 hours?
We started after 8 o'clock, and we were done by like 11:30.
That's right. They're a half hour long.
Dude, they're like 20 minutes apiece. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing. You just hit and play. Just go. It's three of the 4 discs, and then there's tons of extras. There's Mickey Knuckles deathmatch stuff, a bunch of IWA South and Shimmer matches. There's some shit on this DVD. It's pretty fucking awesome, actually. So, anyways, plus there's like 2 or 3 commentary tracks for each episode. And then there's a view and promos that they never released that were going to go to season 2 and talked about the stuff they were going to do with season 2 of this. It's chef's kiss. It's like random wrestling awesomeness. Anyways, we'll touch about that a little bit later because I think I'm the only one that watched it out of this group here.
Wait, like ever or just in that?
Yeah, also probably ever because they stick around. But what?
I loved that show when I was a kid.
Oh, God, you're dating me. But I want to find the episodes of this show when it was on because I know I watched it. But anyway, I got to get through the rest of this.
I don't think we talked about
Wrestling Mayhem Show, it would have been 2007, early 2007. So, for context, we would have been fresh into year 2 of the show. What the hell are we doing? You can check us out at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Like I said, the other shows are on there. We're looking to bring back the Indie Mayhem Show as well. I know it's on a little bit of a hiatus. Everybody's been busy or not doing things or doing too many things. It's been nobody's in between that we can just say, hey, would you like to just talk about your wrestling with us? But anyways, you can also drop us a line at the email address.
Good times at
WrestlingMayhemShow.com.
My good times was
as well
not
as
really
you
feeling
gotta
it
work
today.
on that. 412-206-WMS0 at Mayhem Show on the Twitter, Wrestling Mayhem Show on the Facebook page and group, and of course following us on all of those because we are streaming every Tuesday live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or other things like our Monday night show sometime after 11 o'clock, or our watch-alongs like we did on Friday night, like I mentioned with Wrestling Society X, and whatever other crazy stuff that we do that we come up with. You can check all that out. If you're checking us out live right now, please hit a favorite, hit a like, hit a frowny face. I don't care. Hit a share button, hit a watch party, whatever gets it in front of more people to join us here on the Tuesday nights and join the wrestling party. Bobby F. J. Town likes your X-Men shirt over there. So,
sweet.
And also, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Our friends that are supporting the show, including at our fan of the show level, Bo Diggity. Woo! Ed Burke, Bobby F. J. Town, Team Hammer Fist. At the Poppy Club level, Bradley Ruthers, Dave Podnar, Daniel Towery, and Tina Keys. And at the Pizza Club level, Doc Remedy and Cal Turner. And at our manager level, our friends at OccupyProWrestling.com and Farnsworth Investments. Thank you so much. Everybody is supporting the show, and you guys can support the show too at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Thank you so much for all the support, especially through all these weird times the last several months. So, everybody's talking about last night's Raw Underground, or the state of WWE, or the state of the AEW. It seems like a lot of things are new or in flux, and like we're in another shifting point of things being figured out here, because they're not going great for some people that should be on top right now, right? We talked, I think, rather extensively about Raw Underground as a first impressions shortly after Raw went off air last night with the other guys. So I'll leave it to you guys. Like, what were your thoughts on this Raw Underground concept going on last night? Dave, let's go with you, because Rizz, I know you have some backstory on this.
Honestly, I mean, I looked at it after the fact. I unfortunately had other things to do.
Let's go
while Raw was on. Yeah, which I heard because I asked Ruth and I said, so did you watch it? She said, yeah, and no, she wasn't overly positive with it. But again, now maybe if you're an MMA fan, maybe you'll like it. I don't know. No, obviously, no, looking at Rizz. But also, from what I caught up on, the three guys who came in and kind of owned the place afterwards was someone who lost the match a couple hours earlier against Apollo Crews, and a guy who was distracted by ninjas to lose his 24/7 title, which I'm assuming they did that because you can't be a badass, real, quote unquote, real fighter going around with the the toy 24/7 championship. It works great for Truth, and it'll work for Tozawa, but if you're like, I'm so bad I can beat up people, I have a legitimate collegiate background, which Sheldon really does. I mean, he's an amazing athlete. I mean, they all are, but he has a legitimate wrestling background. You can't go in with the 24/7 into a fight club and pull it off. Right. So
and it was really strange because the guarding the building or guarding the entrance was the tall ninja from the beginning.
I didn't. What was it?
Of Tozawa's clan.
Intimidating the coffee guy. Like what? It seemed like a weird thing.
And I'm agreeing with Bobby and Chad. If you want to watch MMA, watch MMA. Mm-hmm. I want to watch professional. I want to see fake people wrestling. And you know what I mean. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I don't watch MMAs, because I really don't want to watch people actually hurt each other.
Do you like the Steiner brothers?
What's that?
Okay. Well, I would say to go out of their way to hurt each other on purpose, where it's not a matter of we're going to put on a wrestling show, but I want to make sure you're unconscious in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we'll hug and shake afterwards. It just kind of makes me uncomfortable, but to each their own. If you want to do it, that's great, but I want to watch wrestling, and I want to watch good wrestling, and that's why I normally don't watch Raw or SmackDown that much.
Right. It seems weird. Yeah.
Apparently, no one else is either.
Rizz, you had some thoughts on this, and I know, much like a lot of Twitter, I think this seemed almost too familiar to you.
I liked it when it was called the Crucible.
So, and I saw this going around a lot. I'm like, the Crucible. Then I saw jokes about the Salem witch trials and all this stuff, and so I glommed from Twitter what this was about. Explain the Crucible to me.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna tell me if you heard this before.
Are you about to explain Fight Club?
It's an underground training facility inside a wrestling training facility run by a wrestling personality.
This feels like a Russian doll of training facilities.
And the matches were there's pin, submit, or throw them out of the ring. And there were no ropes.
Oh no, I just found it. Oh no. Oh no, that is definitely very familiar with that people on the side.
The exact same situation.
What is this? So they just did, and this is in Chikara?
And you know what? First, I'm going to say, and I should have said this, but I should preface by saying, my Quackenbush fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Next,
oof.
But I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that last night. After the fact, after watching the game and going back to seeing what everybody was talking about, and the first thing I said was, "This is the Crucible," and it wasn't like a year. It wasn't a year when we say, "Okay, everything's up for grabs. Everything's good."
This video I'm watching is from the end of February.
Yeah, this was like a few months ago.
And to be clear, like, it was also mentioned somewhere along the line in my readings that supposedly this is from an episode of the Chikara Action Arcade show that was running, I believe, on IWTV, correct? Mm-hmm. That had been presented to WWE for consideration of including on the network.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of damaging.
Shady shit.
That's yes.
Like it's just
it kind of hurts.
Plus, it's not.
It's slimy.
It's not even like the same. And I even talked to one of my friends who was really big into Chikara herself, and we were going back and forth about it and how that. Think the Chikara stuff, the Crucible, that took months behind the scenes, behind everything happening, but behind having people train to do something like this, to have people do this, to have people do that. They built a story that actually made this look and feel like it should happen.
And it feels like that happened separately, doesn't it? Because this Crucible thing happened over here on Raw, and we've been getting these training montages with Thatcher over on NXT that kind of feel like they should fit over here, and they're just all going in separate directions.
Yeah.
So that is now you know when you hear people yelling about the Crucible on Twitter. When next time Raw Underground gets brought up or shows up next week, if it comes back, if it even comes back.
And the best part is, like, I was reading wrestling Twitter while watching the end of Raw, and Sonny Defarge, Sonny D. His line was used, and again, this is a generic line that mostly everybody uses, and it just says business is booming, and I'm like everything just lined it up.
That's something they said on there. Okay.
Yeah, it just lines up as
well related. There's EC3 also had a line of Instagrams where he had shots from the Raw Underground next to, if you saw his kind of Underground Fight Club video when he redebuted his new look and everything, about the new narrative, and then he's seeing like in the closed captioning like the narrative of something of the U.S. Championship or something was mentioned. Like there was like all these other little points that he pointed out of, wow, doesn't this look familiar? So I mean, it's also could be. It feels like a lot of people are going to this. There is all kinds of this underground promotion vibe. I don't know, Fight Underground, Lucha Underground, things like that. And I know it has been noticeable that the word underground has popped up a lot in the last, I'd say, 2 months. Versus what it was even when Lucha Underground was a thing.
I would have had a little tiny morsel of a respect for it if it wasn't handled by Shane McMahon.
Yeah, that seems out of... We said last night, Shane McMahon has been sitting around for 4 months, unable to do anything because of COVID, has way too much money, and what somebody do when they have way too much money and way too much time on their hands?
Get in trouble?
Human cockfighting. So George, you basically run in an underground line yourself with the kind of wrestling you do. And you've seen images and caught up with this on Twitter, of course. What did you think of Raw Underground?
Honestly, the one thing that I saw a lot of that kind of made sense was Brawl for All. Like it was kind of like a redone Brawl, like a more modern take on Brawl for All, just not in front of like the live crowds in the arenas. But having seen that Crucible clip, the thing that it reminds me of is, do you remember that one, like, it was that one staged karate combat show that was on Fox in like the late 90s, early 2000s?
Yes.
Oh.
It was called like WXMAC Masters or something like that.
Yes. Wow. I do remember that.
I'm waiting for them to bring out the big cage, like the Thunderdome cage that WCW used to have, and then like they hit the sides and they get electrified or whatever. Like
Well, no, now we're going to our Wrestling Society X talk, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
with that.
Yeah, but no, like it just like I can appreciate the sort of what they're going for, especially like during the pandemic. It seems like everything's had to sort of operate on like an empty arena basis.
Yeah.
Like you have to know somebody to be able to even get into the show.
And it seems so. My issue comes with, and this is something that we talked with the Wrestling Society X, and some other properties and cinematics. Like sometimes things like the cuts are too quick. Like it feels, if you're trying to be MMA, you're definitely not shooting it like MMA, right?
Shooting it like a wrestling.
You're shooting
like a WWE show.
Well, you're not even shooting like a wrestling show because the shots are almost too quick.
Like
right?
a WWE show where the zoom in doesn't actually make sense there.
Yeah.
And 59 cuts in a minute and a half.
Yeah, and then inexplicably there's a hard cam in your underground show, and then random shots of dancing ladies. What did somebody said? Well, they certainly got the sexy witches from the movie Crucible, though. Says Bobby of J Town. So there's that. So it just seemed awkward. It came off awkward. There was good moments. Ray Rowe kicking ass I thought was great. I don't know what to make of poor that big guy that they tried to make in an hour to get squashed. So it's
what, the one with the dreads?
Yeah, the one. Yeah. Also, I need to send you an article about the term dreadlocks. PB Smooth, but locks, but
locks.
Learning. It seemed. The whole thing just seemed peculiar and not exciting to me. Kind of a, what the fuck is this? More than there's a, what the fuck is this? But this was more like, what the fuck is this? Right?
Yeah, it was louder. It was louder when you knew, like when you've seen it a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I heard people mention on Twitter afterwards because I was not familiar with Chikara, so my ignorance. But yeah, when people mention the people are showing up clips like, "Wow, you didn't even change the paint on the car after you stole it." That's not right.
Yep.
Now, honestly, where in my mind, when I was hearing, kind of like, if I wanted to book this perfectly, this would end up with Shayna Baszler coming down and just whooping everyone's ass.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
it's like,
so great.
You guys are doing this. Good. This is what I've been doing for most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Let me snap some arms. Whap. But they won't do that.
No. They won't go full
on. The only women
it.
down there will be the, I don't even call them, we can't even call them scantily clad ladies anymore because they were not scantily clad.
No.
Sasha wears less when she's just in a regular wrestling gear half the time.
I was expecting to see Fight Club Barry Horowitz show up in the chat. Brawl for some. The problem is, much like there was good discussion. Both why can't I think it Maria Kanellis?
Yes.
And
yes, I saw her on Twitter, yeah.
Shane Helms both on Twitter talking about the making new stars, and then you get the stuff that happens on Raw. I think they were referring mostly to the Iconics and Riot Squad kind of set up impromptu match thing being a lazy writing situation. And this is the thing that people are noticing, and not just wrestling fans are noticing, and the ratings are reflecting it. The investors are noticing this. There is investor talk from the articles I'm reading that I'm basically reading financial articles on wrestling dirt sheets, which is so weird. This idea that Vince apparently had said in 2018 we need to create new stars, and is saying the same thing now in 2020. And what did we do for the last 2 years? So,
they did make Becky Lynch.
They made Becky Lynch. That is true. Did they make Becky Lynch, or did Becky Lynch make Becky Lynch?
It doesn't matter. She didn't get treated like Zack Ryder. She got pushed.
Yeah. She got a chance to go.
She got pushed. They actually gave her the ball. They let her run with it, and she wouldn't have lost the belt if she hadn't gotten pregnant.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. She's on the cover of the video game, and she was still the cover of like my DVR Raw every week. The poster was Becky Lynch.
Still is.
Yeah.
Still is.
So, they did at least make one.
Yeah. But with that, WWE has the biggest talent pool, has bought the biggest talent pool in the world, hands down. And you can't see, why can't anybody get past that NXT bubble, right? Until somebody proves that the NXT bubble is the top, which I don't know. T-shirt sales, whatever the case may be, it's a strange situation over there. Very strange situation over there.
And honestly, Raw Underground also masks things like a possible poisoning of a wrestler on a national TV show.
By the way, yeah.
Watch your sippy. Watch your cup when you go into the ring because it may be poisoned.
And then I think, quote unquote, because I think it was mentioned on the show, Hoodlum's catching a generator on fire, and
yes.
technical issues throughout the night that they kept putting over. And
I thought the technical issues were call out to the Hurricanes for
By the way,
reason.
they said there's some weather in Florida, and we had 2 shots outside where it looked perfectly calm. I'm just noticing something here. Jeez, not to mention actually looking out a window if you live in Florida on a Monday night to see if there actually is weather going on, because this was definitely not filmed today, more than likely. So I just, there's just head smacking moments. As I mentioned last night, I am no longer watching Raw by itself. I am actually rawing it on the side while I'm watching NXT and SmackDown on at the same time, because WWE gets one night. Because WWE, that's all you've earned of my time. Yeah. I'm going to fit your 7 hours of programming in 3. That's all you get. Okay? Until there's a pay-per-view or a takeover, that's all you get.
Wouldn't it be 2.5?
You're giving them more than I do.
Well, that's another reason. I watch SmackDown and I watch... What's that? What's that, Riz?
I was like, you're giving it more than I do.
Well, I mean NXT's
there's
in
nothing
there.
I admit I stream a lot on twitch.tv/RizzPlaysGames.
Yes.
But I don't have the
patience,
stamina.
Yes.
Intestinal testicular fortitude.
Yes, anything.
Mm-hmm.
A strong enough stomach.
Like with this pandemic outside, I don't have the ability, or like I can't watch wrestlers watching wrestling on television, so that the people who are making the wrestlers watch wrestling can make a whole bunch of money from it.
Well, I mean,
and they are making a whole bunch of money.
I mean, we can talk about sports in general right now. So
that's true.
I mean, sorry, baseball. But it's there's that.
Don't worry, nobody watched that Monday either.
What?
Or tonight.
Oh yeah. It's okay. I don't think it's going to last too much longer. But anyways, so you have that as opposed to AEW, which is doing the same thing, Rizz. But I mean,
exact same thing.
Yes. Okay. Yes, they have. They have but they have a cooler venue. They have been more creative with it. They do things that make me want to watch it. And rolled out 2 other programs that they're still doing every week. They had a 2-hour-long Dark with 12 matches last week. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. And then last night they rolled out, I watched a little bit of the first part of it, a 40-minute, I can never remember the name of it, but the women's tournament that they're doing, the Lethal Lottery.
Deadly Draw. The Deadly Draw.
Thank you.
Not the Lethal Lottery?
The Lethal Lottery type thing.
Except for the Nightmare.
Oh, did you see how they did that, though?
No, I missed that. No.
There's a reason they're together. And it does fit into the Deadly Draw.
Okay.
And they did pick the same color. You'll have to watch how they did.
Okay, yeah.
Just roll with it. So, I mean, and I don't feel the only issue I have with Dark, and I was live tweeting while I was watching. I usually watch Dark while I edit this show. And I'm
you watch a lot of wrestling, Sorg.
Yes.
And I don't come home, Missy.
I don't have anything on the weekends to do anymore. But I can't go anywhere to watch wrestling, so I have to find it, and here we are. But I can only escape to West Virginia so many times, and keep my sanity. So, so anyways, what was my point?
I don't know.
You watch Dark while you are editing this show.
And I'm watching the last one, and I know that when they're doing these matches, it's like late into the night, because they've said on Being the Elite that it is midnight as like Brandon and the Librarians match is starting, because the Young Bucks are always in the crowd for them. And I was like, this is how it feels when you're watching JCW at the Gathering at 3 a.m. and Tommy Dreamer's coming out. Like that vibe, it's really late and people are out of energy because they've been partying all day. Like that's the vibe. And yet I'm still going to have a barbed wire match in front of me.
Dang.
You'd love the Gathering.
I might have to go.
You might, if they ever have it again. I think I was supposed to be there this weekend. I
saw the pictures of like past Juggalo or Gathering events.
The last one was the one where I discovered bare knuckle boxing, and that was a fantastic discovery. I learned that I like real violence as much as I like fake violence. Anyways.
And then you grew to be the biggest Wade Barrett fan of all time.
What?
Wade Barrett?
What about Wade Barrett?
Well, yeah, he was supposed to be a bare knuckle fighter.
Boxer.
Yeah, that was his backstory way back.
Oh, really? I never heard that one.
Didn't Regal used to do something like that over in India too?
In the
Regal
India.
did it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, aside from that, while there's questionable things happening on main television or your YouTube or a whole mess of stuff, there's still some great stuff happening over at IndieWrestling.us, IndieWrestling.network, and of course our great partners still putting out new content weekly on social medias these days, including Prospect Pro Wrestling and Fight Underground. Of course, Indie Wrestling Network, which still has the most subscribers that we've ever had here during this time. And also, that's not all there is. There's plenty of ways free to watch things, including the YouTube channel and the wonderful Twitch stream, IndieWrestling.us over on Twitch.tv, which is
Honey Badger.
Currently, if you were watching that instead of this fine show live, you'd be seeing Katie Arquette versus Honey Badger for maybe the first time this ever happened at Stomp Out Cancer at the old Rise Stronghold, amongst other great stuff going on over there. But also, like I said, weekly, we're heading into the final rounds of the Quarantine Challenge coming up with Prospect Pro Wrestling, so you can follow their Facebook page, Instagram, or the IndieWrestling.us YouTube. But also tonight just dropped the apparently first of two matches, surprisingly, of the Brohemoth at Fight Underground, and I believe this was the 7th week of the Underground Showdown that's going on over there. You can check out everything from the first tapings up to what's going to happen next week. Again, there's a surprise match that came up that was set up at the end of that match over there on Fight Underground. Go watch Vance Strader versus Brohemoth to see what that is going to be next week. And of course, they're doing a lot of great stuff over there, including the Fight Council and Inside Out with Brandon K. over on their Facebook and social media, multi-streaming everywhere there's an account, and can shoot video for Fight Underground, FU Throwdown across social media, and of course Prospect Pro Wrestling doing their stuff. So speaking of which, somebody that's been, we kind of joked, familiar with the Underground, that's been a part of it, and we've talked before about his deathmatch wrestling proclivity. I guess. Referee George Ross with us hanging out here. Of course, you've been a part of this interesting project that's been happening with Fight Underground, that's been rolling out over the last several weeks. What? And I know it's something you've wanted to be a part of for several months as it's been kind of rolling out.
Yes, definitely. Honestly, I think they did a lot of stuff they should be proud of with the first taping. Mm-hmm. It just feels like it feels gritty. It feels raw. It just feels like something that isn't really happening in wrestling right now. I think like the booking team has a great vision. It feels a lot like especially when you get like the post match interviews following all the fights. It really does sort of feel like the old territory days, maybe from like the 70s or the 80s if you're in Memphis or wherever. And honestly, like some of the content, like some of the matches were amazing. Scarlett and Ronnie Nicole, Zeke, Justin Idol, AJ and Rev, tag team action featuring Warhorse. I mean, there's a little something for everybody here. If you've had a chance to watch any of it, if you haven't, shame on you. Go to the Fight Underground Facebook page and check it out to see what one of the newest, hottest promotions in Pittsburgh has in store for you.
And of course, you're still finding things to do. I know wrestling is a little here and there, everywhere. I know we just got an update. Ohio is apparently struck out for wrestling potentially happening with their new rules that they laid out there. John Thorne of the AIW was sharing that to remind everybody why they're not running shows right now. For instance, it's still hit and miss here in Pennsylvania. I think West Virginia is suffering from the crowd size limitations themselves. But you're still finding your way around and still finding yourself in death matches during this time. So I'm not going to talk to you about the safety of death matches in this time, or actually the safety of death matches in any time. But you're still kind of getting out there and doing that.
Yes. I've been doing some of the regular empty arena tapings for Real Shoot Wrestling down in West Virginia as well.
Yeah, I got to attend the last one for that.
Those have been fun. I did make my way up to Detroit in June for a benefit show for Aaron Orion's son. He is one of the Death Threat Army guys. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, his son, they found a tumor in his brain the size of like a golf ball. and he had just recently had surgery. So the folks at Horrorslam Wrestling, Rachel Green and Briar Wellington, they threw a series of undisclosed location benefit shows, during which the one show I was on up there, they actually had a staple gun match for charity.
So wait. Is this go the way that I think it's gonna go for charity?
Probably.
Is it a throw a coin in the pool kind of situation?
Oh yeah. So basically, I've sort of felt what I imagine a stripper would feel like in a sense, because there was just singles everywhere, and the gimmick being that all the money that gets stapled to the two participants all go directly to the cause, being Wyatt's medical funds. And this was the dirty white boy Chuck Stein, who, in all honesty, is one of the most unheralded names in deathmatch wrestling right now, against Aiden Blackheart.
That's
I even got stapled in the match.
You got stapled for charity.
For charity.
So this is the only time where adequately you can say that the charity money was blood money.
Oh yes.
So
indeed. But the blood was spilled for a great cause.
That is fantastic. I love that there's still inventive ways for money to be raised. We should have had man, PB Smooth, Derek Direction. You could have gotten it over quickly. You don't have to do all these air break rounds. If we could have just had everybody staple $4,000 raised for Dutters.
Well, that match ended up raising itself over $120.
Nice. Thankfully for your health, only $120.
I am wearing the shirt.
Yeah, what's that? Yep. You got.
Oh, there we go.
So I'm just saying, it feels better than not getting stapled.
Yeah. It's better than staples. Exactly. Show that shirt again, because I had you switched off differently. I miss switching all over the place. I'm off. My video switching skills are off tonight. There it is. Look at that.
I'm gonna be like Tyler Klein and stand up for a little bit.
Okay. There you go. And of course that is happening. They actually had their first round this past week over on Instagram Live. And I think they're. I don't know if they're doing. Well, he's done. He's tired. He's tired already.
I'm done.
He's had a long day. He's had a long day. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm still at my work desk, sort of.
Yep. That's where all the. Podner's getting his out too. So, those also thanks to Eric Ryan that did those shirts, by the way, designed by Jack Pollock. So some awesome work. It's awesome to see everything that's gone on with that rallying around Dutters, with everything going on with her. So there you go. Now everybody's shirted up.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Mine's in the watch. Sorry.
I was gonna say, where's your sword?
Yeah, mine's the watch. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But no. Props to all those guys for helping out with that, and for a really great cause and raising so much money for them. It was so great.
And the fact that hopefully both can walk afterwards.
Yes.
Because I imagine your legs are pretty much jello after that.
So. I feel it needs to be brought up because we did watch Wrestling Society X this past week, and George, you watched it back in the day, right? Do you have any fond memories of Wrestling Society? We talked about it a little bit last night on the show.
Only really like the first episode where they did that insane, crazy gauntlet. Didn't X-Pac end up winning the title in that thing?
It was a contract.
Contract.
Yeah, and I love the contracts were just a rolled up piece of paper slid through the hole of a chain that was hanging, and that was it. And that was in. There was two of them. I think Vampiro got the other one. They had a match for the spoiler alert. I'm sorry. Had a match for the first ever championship. So I mean, that was when you could tell they were really bringing the ECW vibe, because that's the only time you saw Just Incredible. It's the only time you saw Hamrick. Chris Hamrick was in it.
Was Norman Smiley in that?
No, not that I'm aware of.
No.
Not that we noticed, at least. But also there's like young Matt Sydal, young Tyler Black, young Jimmy Jacobs is in it.
Do It For Her.
What's that?
Wasn't there a tag team Do It For Her? Or Do It For Her or something like that?
I don't recall that, actually.
And it was like a very emo.
Oh, it was definitely very
centric.
Emo.
Yeah.
Definitely very emo.
Let me look this up.
Was it more emo than Age of the Fall?
Yeah, because I think they leaned way into the emo to like nothing was subtle. But also you'll notice like the crowds, and I thought we were talking about like there was some tweets or some write up or something about like the crowd was very obviously like crowd casting and not wrestling fans. It's like we went to casting for wrestling fans. We didn't go to wrestling fans to cast us. Think how Lucha Underground does it. Because you just look at like, what are all these bro dudes hanging out in the front row with button-up T-shirts or button-up collar shirts and stuff, right? One guy had a suit jacket. It was real strange for being this underground alt society kind of thing.
You mean to tell me you can't go to Brooks Brothers and be underground, Sorg?
No.
All right.
And then just like that next to random Juggalo merch. Just random Juggalo merch. Wearing a...
And I was correct. Their tag team name was DIFH.
Oh.
Was Jimmy Jacobs in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who did he team with?
Tyler Black. Seth Rollins.
Tyler Black.
Oh, so they did Age of the Fall before Ring of Honor did. How about that?
I think it was around the same time.
Well, no. Age of the Fall wasn't formed until the Man Up pay-per-view in 2007.
Okay.
Because I remember Jimmy Jacobs wearing the white suit after they hung Jay or Mark Briscoe, 15 feet above the ring after Ladder War, and his blood basically, he got a literal bloodbath, not the Gangrel stuff. Like, that was, like, legit, his blood just dripped all over him. It was a great visual.
2007 was Wrestling Society X time, too.
Yeah. It debuted in January, which means they taped, I think they taped the pilot in February 2006. Yeah,
so Man Up would have been, I think, sometime in the summer or fall of 2007.
Okay. That makes sense. It is interesting, and I was elated to see that Pro Wrestling Tees actually did put up merchandise for the 10-year anniversary, and everything from like Died Too Young at Wrestling Society X, which I think is the shirt that I want to get, and the one was high spot crowd shot, high spot explosions. Pretty much lays it out. It was like the only televised wrestling show that promised and overhyped explosions in wrestling matches. Time Bob exploding steel cage tag team match.
Dang.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was after the Piranha Death match.
That sounds like the one gimmick that Paul Heyman had with Public Enemy. If they lost a match, they're going to have to get put in the cage and get exploded.
That sounds like it. Because it was you climbed up on the scaffolding, hit a red button, your team escapes the cage as fast as they can, you leave the other team behind to get exploded.
I mean, it's not like when the Abdul the Butcher got electrocuted.
No, not like that.
Wasn't there also like a casket match that also exploded?
Yes, there was an exploding casket match, and apparently this was this happened. Tina filled us in on this in the chat room while we were watching. This happened at IWA in Puerto Rico. Savio Vega's promotion, I believe, and it led into the storyline of Wrestling Society X that the one guy got exploded was scarred, Ricky Banderas, who became later Mil Muertes, and it was back for revenge against Vampiro, so they had another exploding casket match.
Man, Vampiro and Mil Muertes, like, they just go together, don't they?
Yeah, they've been fighting forever. It's an ageless battle. So, by the way, this was a pretty badass era for Vampiro. So, but anywho, no, it was pretty crazy. So it's all on YouTube. You guys can watch it. You don't have to pay $20 on Amazon like we did for the DVD. But there's a lot of fun stuff on the DVD that I think we're gonna appreciate. I want to listen to all the commentaries and everything. Just there's a lot of just what season 2 was going to be, where they were going with things. It's really good. Let's see. You got to go to Men's Warehouse to be underground. No, you need to go to Men's Warehouse to be part of Team Big League. I understand. So,
you'll like the way you look.
Let's say if you're gonna go quickly.
What's that?
Men's Warehouse.
They going out? They going out?
Yep.
Did not know that.
Yep.
New stable called Retribution. Nobody has to be revealed yet, though. What?
Yeah, that's the anarchists that tore up
the guy's outside. Mm-hmm.
because topical stuff.
Did we forget about the hacker, by the way?
Oh no, I think that's part of it now.
Oh really? That makes sense. Really?
They dropped that for the longest.
Yeah. And
I think they're going with Mr. Robot-y type vibes.
It seems like I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It seems.
I don't know. We'll see what happens in the 3 hours I allot for you, WWE, until SummerSlam. Anyways, but you know what? You know what is not failing me, and I am not limiting my time for, except for maybe
Pizza?
for except for maybe my calorie count, because I want to keep my girlish figure. Our good friends over at Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com. Now 3 locations, because just like how baseball has barely been there for the last several years, there's no people at PNC Park, and now there is no Slice on Broadway. So at least was up. It was time, and so that's okay. They didn't put them in the bubble.
Look, if I may go off on a little side thing here.
Okay.
For Slice.
Yes.
The pizza place that they took over was shit. It was a frozen pizza place.
Oh, we do ads like no other.
What was that?
Slice on Broadway, way better than that shitty place in the park before.
Yes, and I'm not kidding either. It was not that good. But
this is the one Rico listens to. I just know
to a new level.
Yes, 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 they did. Yes, they did. I know, Rizz, you've been enjoying it over there on the other end of town in East Liberty, one of the now 3 locations, and they are looking to, as I have always said, that they are continually looking to expand. They said, yes, we're closing this, but we have several options for a new 4th location.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why I'm not taking that out of the graphic, because I know I just need to fill in a new one in, I don't know, 4 weeks, because that's how these guys run. I don't know.
Just cross it off and just say it's right there.
Yeah. Location pending.
TBD.
TBD. I like that. Rizz. As soon as I get into my Photoshop, I have a chance. I want TBD that PNC, and we'll just move on from there. Look into the future.
I was trying to think of pizza toppings that go TBD, but I'm like, it's fine.
Tomato, basil, and
deliciousness.
Deliciousness. I like it. Check them out, sliceonbroadway.com. Guys, we are going to actually hear Katie tell us about some stuff. Also, a little bit of a PSA from our friend BC Steele, and we'll be right back with the big question. Stop bumping that. Keep bumping.
So we all watched the right thing this time, right?
Yeah, I didn't tell George the assignment, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah.
And honestly, since I didn't know I was going to be on until 30 minutes before the thing started, I didn't really watch.
Rizz, it's you and me.
but
you know
I
what?
Fine.
You know what?
I think I could spit my way through it.
First of all,
I mean, I watched the one from King of the Ring '94.
You just be like, listen, these 2 were amazing, and
you probably got the gist of it.
Oh, what? Hey, you're presenting now. No, don't do this. You get us taken down. No, don't hit play. Don't hit play.
I'm not hitting play. Here I am.
No.
I'm back.
They don't know how to book a wrestling show, but their lawyers know what they're doing.
Yes.
Am I good?
Please, man. I've already had 1 cease and desist from WWE.
I just wanted to show the crazy Lanny Poffo stare that begins this video.
That is. We'll talk about the Lanny Poffo stare.
That would make a hell of a
By the way,
listen. I don't want another discussion with WWE legal. Okay, they were very nice about it, but I'm just I want to avoid that. I don't want to have reasons for WWE legal. As it is, as I said last night, we used Underground a lot during the course of the show over the years. I'm really afraid after Raw Underground, I'm going to get another letter about an old podcast we did like 5 years ago. I'm concerned, okay? But what was the homework? It was Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect from Primetime Wrestling. Was that... Hold on, I'm going to bring it up. 1989.
November 6th, 1989.
Yes. I need to watch more Primetime Wrestling.
Also on there was a tag team championships match between the Brainbusters and Demolition.
And it was leading into Survivor Series Showdown, which was going to feature the Ultimate Warrior versus Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that during the thing. But yeah.
Wasn't that when Tully got drunk and didn't show up, or did he get fired?
It might be. I don't know.
Because that was when
Was it drunk, or was it...
Oh, you
I don't think it was drunk.
Steroids? Was it steroids?
Was it leading in like was it at Survivor Series they kicked them, or?
Well, that was. I just remember, like, you know, that was why Heenan was in it, and why Andre was in so much pain. They just clotheslined him over the top rope, made Ultimate Warrior look like a monster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow. And they didn't. Of course, somehow the ref waits to ring the bell until Andre goes over the top rope. I was like, what?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I need to do this. I need to set up our. Sorry, I need to set up our. The dog has concerns about this match too. Apparently. Is he over there? Okay.
And sorry if I get you kicked off, Sorg.
Don't get me kicked off.
And sued.
Man. I need to grab. Where's that at? Gotta get our next assignment. WrestleMap.com while I'm waiting here. WrestleMap.com. They tagged a bunch of West Virginia wrestling and Pittsburgh wrestling promotions. It's a map of wrestling promotions.
Who's on it?
Where were you when I was looking for promotions across the country? Because holy crap!
I found the old PWX in 2009 on some weird message board. Like it was like
WrestlingData.com.
Nah, maybe. This was like 12, 13 years ago. So
map of wrestling promotions. Oh, where were you?
Listen,
dog. What the hell are you even barking at?
I was barking at the chair.
He hears something outside. I don't know.
It's a ghost.
He's like the lazy. He's laying in a chair, barking, looking around.
Basically.
Like, what are you even doing right now? I think my dog is not doing well. He just laid his head down. He's just like, I'm done. He says, I'm done. I don't know. I don't think he's doing well.
This is a fantastic match. I'd like to feature Jazz because she is one of the most...
Okay, spoiler, Jazz is a part of it.
Female match. Always a good thing.
Oh, trying to find the download button. They changed things. What the hell is it? The fuck did you do?
Did Jazz used to use a Fisherman Buster?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember one match she hit that thing on Trish. It looked really nasty.
Okay, gonna close that.
She's still with Rodney Mack, or did they break up?
I don't know. I feel like that's not an ongoing thing. I just got a vibe that that's not an ongoing thing.
You know, it's the
Wrestling Mayhem.
Hi. Okay, I'm not gonna. I swear, I'm not gonna mess this up this time.
Yep, still married.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. All right, so we're going to hit record on this guy. Okay, we're good on that. Now we're going to hit record on this guy. I used to have so many tracks. Yay, in studio guest. All right, our question for this week should be... Okay, I got this. This fits into.
It's like the professor in the corner of your screen, Sorg.
Oh, back there. Yeah.
Just back there.
Yeah, that's just for you guys.
Yeah.
I don't show that on Sean anymore.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. So, big question, homework, and then what we learned. We are back. Thank you, BC, for educating, and they'll be, of course, be part of our further education later in the show with Professor Jacob Edwin and our homework assignment for this week. But, of course, now we are still back here with Rizz, Dave Podnar, referee George Ross as well, hanging with us. But it is time for the big question. Of course, we have judged, if you will, this Raw Underground top matter and what WWE is attempting to do with something that, quote, feels real with no ropes in Daddy's backyard. So I go back because actually a couple of things were mentioned in chat and conversation about other attempts like this. And there have been several attempts to add a mimicked realism, if you will, or realism, unfortunately, in one case that was on Dark Side of the Ring. Whether it be an MMA-ish or street fight kind of atmosphere. So the big question is, what is your favorite or most memorable attempts in wrestling at realism? And whether it be an attempt in MMA, boxing, fight kind of situation, much like what was attempted this week. You guys have an answer to hop on to? All right, easy.
Anything involving Casanova Valentine.
For those that don't know,
Casanova Valentine is the king of the no-ring death match.
Okay. Of the no-ring death match.
The no-ring death match, yeah. I mean, if you want something that, like, I did this was back in February. The show was called This Is Horrorslam. My big match of the night was a death match between him and Chuck Stein.
Sorry.
So, I mean, they just fought all over the VFW, and Casanova ended up waterboarding him with a pitcher of beer.
Jeez.
Before they eventually did work their way back into the ring. The finish was a sling blade, ironically enough, onto...
oh, shit, he was at VOW.
Yes, onto knife boards. No, Casanova's all over the place. He's basically a hipster he's a hipster Cactus Jack.
That is a barbed wire cross.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging cross.
Yeah. So do you remember when you remember seeing shots of MV Young when he had those scars on his, like those big welts on his back?
Yeah.
Casanova Valentine's the guy who broke the light tubes on him.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He's the one that scarred MV Young for life.
Well, I don't even know if he scarred him, but like I remember it was the night after he'd done a no-ring death match with him, and he some of the stuff in the match is probably why he was cringing a little more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that was one of the ones they did in Brooklyn. Like MV does the ones that are kind of like he kind of markets them like fashion shows.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think that's part of the deal, isn't it? Don't they do like a fashion show?
Like
aren't they like death match?
They're like a drag fashion show.
Yeah, in a sense, I think.
Then mixed with death match at the same show.
Exactly.
It's wild. I love it.
Yeah, hopefully you can bring one to Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, like if we're talking like probably that. I've also done a death match where two guys ended up working their way to the back of the VFW to a bar, interrupted a members-only poker game to take a shot of Fireball with each other before brawling outside to throwing each other into the ice machine on the side of a Family Dollar. So. And it was a Dollar General, not a Family Dollar.
I did witness a death match in California for a whole 15 people that spilled out into the street, and then everybody had to run back in because the cops were legitimately outside pulling somebody over down the street.
Oh goodness!
And so I was like, "Everybody in, cops!" I was like, "Oh shit!" But that was interesting. Sun City, California. Yeah, that was fun. I think it was my first time out there. So. I guess that's the most real, right? Is the death matches. So, Rizz, Podnar, you have one?
Dave, you can go. I'm thinking right now.
No, you can go, Rizz.
I got one if you need a second, because this recent NXT, what was it called? The Fight Pit? I think we brought it up.
You mean Timothy Thatcher's thing? Or
with Thatcher and
else?
Riddle?
With Thatcher and Riddle?
I love that concept. Yeah. And especially having those couple of MMA style guys as a part of it. Yeah, I mean, it is obviously a flashback to the Lions Den match with Ken Shamrock back in the day. So I mean, I think those are fantastic, and I hope they come back. I hope we do return to something like that. It seemed like an odd thing to pop out of seemingly nowhere, because I think I was a couple of weeks off. I took a couple of weeks off of NXT because the world happened.
You have 3 hours.
Yeah, it was before the 3-hour rule, but it's one I hope that comes back. It one that felt really, really realistic and had a different vibe to it, and it really probably led to the guys kind of pulling it off. And Thatcher, I think I missed the entire introduction of Thatcher, so it's just like, here's this guy. I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah. So that's mine. Who has the next one?
I can go now. Any Vader match on WCW.
Oh shit!
Like the one thing that's stuck in my head, I always remember there was this one match where they just stop. They just stop, like they just cut to somewhere else. You know, it's too. You don't want to see what's happening now. Just believe me. I think it was may have been Vader versus Sting, and he just beat the shit out of Sting. I'm just trying to think of what, like, it just, the image of my head just having that news report just go, yeah, don't worry, it's fine. But just that realism of Vader like throwing stiff punches, no matter where he's at. WCW, WWE, New Japan, just name a place. He probably has knocked somebody out in real life.
Kuwait,
yeah, Kuwait. But like the famous one about knocking somebody out, Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Knocked his ass silly. But yeah, just any Vader match.
I like it.
Period.
What about you, Dave?
Well, I'm going to springboard off of that, and I say Ken Shamrock's original run in WWE back in the Attitude Era, where he was just so different from anyone else at the time.
And MMA was a new concept at the time, too.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. You figure it was brand new. There wasn't this crossover back and forth. And here's the guy who, and he looked badass, but he didn't look. You got, like I said, okay, a little background. You got to remember, when I started wrestling, it was 84. Okay, I know, show my age, but think about what wrestlers look like in the 80s. They literally look like blown up balloons, half of them, because of the muscles.
Yep.
Okay. And Shamrock was solid, but he wasn't big and blown up. He looked like, I know, I don't want to say, yeah, obviously MMA fighter, but he looked like someone who, I get in this shape because I need to be in this shape to beat people up, not because I want to look a certain way to be on TV. You know?
Yeah.
And with the gloves coming in like that, and just the no-nonsense attitude, until, unfortunately, his sister and the Val Venus, yeah,
until they more characterized him in a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you really didn't need, I mean, honestly, you can even do Lance Storm.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here to wrestle. I'm here to beat people up and win. I am not here to entertain you.
Yeah.
Even though his matches were entertaining, but, you know, I am not here to do the flashy, happy stuff.
Flashy, happy stuff?
And
well, you know, like, you know, I mean, comparing him to playing with someone playing to the crowd, or, you know, oh, look, I'm wearing neon outfits and I'm, you know, I don't have a skateboard. I'm not coming out with the skateboard and I can't skateboard.
Yep.
They did piggyback off Shamrock, like in his early run, because then they brought in Severin and even Dr. Death for
Brawl.
I almost said Fight Club for Brawl for All. But it like just that realism of these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I do love that we didn't even like bring up Brawl for All as an option here.
No.
Okay, can I have a 1B? Okay, so I don't know if this was intended to come off this way, but it's just one of those old famous mean guy matches. It was back in the Bill Watts era of WCW during that like 6 to 8 month span where he was booking. And I guess it was a match that sold really big in Japan, but didn't do that well in the States. It was Rick and Scott Steiner against freaking Dr. Death and Bam Bam Terry Gordy when they were the Miracle Violence Connection. And they just beat the crap out of each other, man. You feel the strikes watching it. It was awesome. I loved it.
Is that on the network?
Yeah. I think that would have been from probably.
Can that be your homework for this week?
For us? That should. I wish so. That would be. Yeah, that would be.
Send me where that match is on the network. I would love to take a look at it.
I definitely will find it. It's definitely something to behold. It's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, because like they tear into each other, man, and it's just like the 4 old school hardcore guys like that.
Yep,
like,
got it.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys have a favorite quote realistic attempt in professional wrestling, please hit us up at Mayhem Show on the Twitter. Comments on this video if you're watching on any of those formats, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So let's go to the homework assignment. Professor Jacob Edwin, please support him at ProWrestlingTees.com/Jacob Edwin. He has some good stuff over there. Thank you. And he had an assignment for us this week. This was a good one. Mr. Perfect versus Bret Hart, Primetime Wrestling, November 6th, 1989. We were definitely leading up the Survivor Series at this point. It was actually that Sunday was going to be the Survivor Series Showdown special leading up to the Survivor Series.
By the way, I was 2 years old.
You were, and Rizz was 2 years old at that point.
I would have been 7 months old.
We're saying November 2019.
What?
Sorry, not 2019. Sorry,
1989.
November, right?
Yeah,
1989. Okay.
Yeah, I was 8.
So I was halfway through my senior year of high school.
I was 8. So now that we've done that, in retrospect, so this is something I would have had no awareness of because we didn't have cable in 1989.
I wouldn't know it because I was 2.
And also that. So first eyes, the new eyes on this apparently. This is Bret Hart just coming of age of sorts. Mm-hmm. Mr. Perfect was still undefeated at the time apparently. Was managed by the genius Lanny Poffo, which was a delight. Who apparently was ring announcing Mr. Perfect to the ring and also announced him as the winner at the end. So that was fun. Rizz, there was a point in this match where Mr. Perfect he got hit by Bret and he fell to the ring as he was trying to slide out and did like this spin move.
Oh, I was going to mention that in my little thing.
Okay, it was if you imagine the Homer Simpson running in a circle on his side visual, but a lot smoother and impressive. Yeah. So that caught your attention?
That did catch my attention because those two men have done, like in that match, some of the very intricate parts to make that match look as real as that match can be on a random night in West Virginia.
In Wheeling, West Virginia. I've been in that arena for Nailers hockey, actually.
Yeah, because I noted
and arena football and a Ring of Honor show. Oh, I think about it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So like I noted about that slide out of the helicopter slide out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also compared that to Bret's there at the later part of the match. He's always done this, but just seeing it live, I jumped up out of my chair because I knew exactly what was happening. But when he got reversed into the ring ropes chest first, he always does that to make it look really real.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another part where Mr. Perfect at the very end, like at one of the later parts of the match for Mr. Perfect, he takes Bret Hart's hair, starts rolling it up in his finger before he just tosses him over, just to make it that 1 inch. Just make sure you get that 1 inch of a dick move.
Wasn't there a point? I can't actually. I feel like it must have been doing this, but he had him in the headlock. Gets up on the ropes, like tries to shoot him off. Grabs that was Bret. It's like he grabbed him by the hair and pulled him back into the headlock.
Yes,
like,
that was
like
Bret.
That was a smooth move.
Like a cocky Bret Hart match in 1987 or 89.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like that part, just that moment was fun. Seeing how he twisted and turned the rule book kind of sort of they were kind of hinting of a maybe he's gonna be a heel.
He's also probably coming off of Hart Foundation-ness, right?
That's true.
He might have been in Hart Foundation still at the time. Now I think about it.
He was.
Like this is an oddball singles match for him, right?
But yeah, you got hair pulls. You got Bret doing a 5 count. And then like he held him. The ref was counting the 5. Let go. Right back to headlock. On Mr. Perfect, who is undefeated and a heel with Lanny Poffo, genius on the side.
Our commentators at the time, Tony Schiavone and Lord Alfred Hayes, by the way, because I keep forgetting about Tony Schiavone being part of WWF like as a whole. I believe it was the Fantastic Mustache.
Very highly underrated.
Absolutely.
Like, I love them. I love them even more than I do Hayes and Monsoon.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Because during those tapings, if it was Monsoon and Hayes, they rarely go off the rails.
Oh yeah,
they like you can tell they were just doing this just to.
You can tell this is hour 6 of their day of post match records.
And by the way, I love the genius just sliding in they don't know what they're doing in the sound booth.
Yeah, you
all should be listening to me. It's like, oh my God.
And commentary is like, he's talking about us up here. What's happening? Yeah. It's funny. Well, I mentioned the commentary team because there was a point that kind of shocked me where they talked about Bret got a near fall and it was like that would have been an upset.
Yeah.
Like when is the last time you heard that would be an upset with Bret Hart winning? Probably 1990, right? So it was really interesting because I think if you sit down to watch this match, and again I thought it was like 91, 92, was my feeling when I watched it. But then like all those little things like that, realize like, oh no, this is a little earlier. So that's kind of fun. Also, were you like I hit the chapter thing on the network and dropped right into the match and then in the middle of it. Roddy Piper pops on my screen and shocks me. And we're like, "Oh, Roddy Piper's here yelling at me about this match and people and them pulling each other's hair and stuff." And then you realize, like, for some reason, because then I watched the final segment, they had Piper. I guess
Piper just
he was in a rocking chair, office chair somewhere other than Heenan and Monsoon. I'm presuming like they needed to be separated for some reason because I think I do recall something where like he got in a fight with Heenan on the show or something. But that kind of surprised me. And then still 15 minutes left of that match.
And I did do what you did. I went to the chapter, but then I started hitting back a little bit.
Oh yeah, I wish I didn't have enough time to do that this time.
And then I actually posted in the Slack. The one line that I got out of everything, out of that whole conversation, was Monsoon looking at Heenan and going, "I never saw Mr. Perfect get licked." And I'm like, because of course they were talking about the Bushwhackers being on, I believe, team.
We're gonna Rowdies, bro.
Rowdies.
Yeah. There's a fun segment where Piper is trying to get Heenan to bet on matches, and Heenan won't even bet on his own family members' matches for some reason. Seems kind of interesting. They had a lot of fun with that. So, those are always great. Like anytime I got a chance to see the primetime wrestling, I always loved it because I think we did have it locally, like late Friday nights or something on like local TV. But I don't know. Was primetime wrestling a Monday show? Was that anybody that was around the area? Dave, you were around in that area. You were.
Well, we didn't have cable.
Oh, you didn't have cable either. Okay.
I didn't have. We didn't have cable growing up.
Yeah, not either.
That's November 6th. So let me do a quick check here.
The 12th was the Sunday because they advertised that. So that would have been math. Yeah, that probably would have been Monday. That or Sunday.
Yeah, it was Monday.
That was Monday?
It was Monday.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, it was fun to kind of flash back on that.
Well, wasn't it a syndicated show?
It was syndicated. I think it was first run on USA, but also syndicated. Like we had it on our kind of Fox affiliate, I think, or ABC affiliate kind of thing at like 10 o'clock on Sundays.
So even though it's dated November 6th, it may not have necessarily aired at first
on
November 6th.
Yeah, and of course,
depending on your market.
And I don't know what the lead time was on pre-tapes for matches at that time too. I don't know if you saw Hank Hudson, some of the stuff he shares. He shared a wheeling show that had 12 matches on it. And it was labeled as for a wrestling challenge and Coliseum video content, right? And that just the card looks insane. And I'd love to see the card that this came from as well, being just down there in West Virginia at the First Niagara Center, maybe. I don't know what it could have been called back then, but that was fun. Dave, George, do you have any other thoughts about this era at least of Bret and Mr. Perfect from your recollections?
It's so weird to watch Bret. Like my vision of when Bret is like Bret as you know him is probably like when you like my first memory of that is probably at the next year Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. It's when he's teaming with Dusty Rhodes on that final stretch he had with Ted DiBiase. That is when that's the current that's when Bret Hart became the Bret Hart that that everybody started to know and love. But so it is weird to go back and see him like pre that era at all, having singles matches when the Animal's not around.
Yeah. It is odd, but also they were doing interesting pair-ups. It sounded like where Smash was taking on Ted DiBiase at Survivor Series Showdown and stuff like that, right? So yeah, you mentioned the Brainbuster, not Arn Anderson, the other one, Tully Blanchard. Those guys were like almost exclusively a tag team during that era, right? Like you never saw them mix it up singles wise. Yeah. So, what about you, Dave?
Well, yeah, I mean, especially Bret and Mr. Perfect back then. You were going to get just without even looking at the homework, you knew, oh, Bret, Mr. Perfect, yeah, it's going to be a really good match because there's two really good wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be a really good wrestler without excessive weirdness. Which, I mean, we're talking late 80s Vince, so yeah, he loved the weird, goofy stuff, but didn't need it.
It was a competitive match. Bobby F. J-Town in the chat is correcting us. Primetime Wrestling was on Tuesdays. That makes sense because it probably replaced Tuesday Night Titans, didn't it? That was also in USA early on. So that makes a lot of sense. Well, that was our homework. Thank you, Professor Jacob Edwin, for educating on that. Give us a reason to deep dive into some classic stuff back then. So let us hop in and check out what he has in store for us this week.
Wrestling Mayhem Show, my name is Professor Jacob Edwin. You can support the classroom and support the arts by going to prowrestlingtees.com/Jacob Edwin. I want to go back. To an event I just covered just 2 lessons ago. 2 assignments ago, I should say. January 20th, 2002. The same event as Edge versus William Regal. We're going to go right into a double feature that is Jazz versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. This is a fantastic match. I'd like to feature Jazz because she is one of the most underrated talent anywhere of any era. You know, this was someone that really could have followed through and now she made a big name for herself. She was multiple-time women's champion, but probably came a little before her time. You know, some time where she could have been featured in main events today and is still currently wrestling today. One of the toughest people out there, man or woman, and just, I mean, all in all, smart, which is what I like to feature on this show, but very impressive as a talent and as a competitor. Please follow very closely and watch as she leads a younger Trish Stratus to her rise to stardom. Thank you.
There you go. To clarify, because we screwed this up 2 weeks ago, that is the 2002 Royal Rumble.
Yes.
So
I just looked it up. It
yeah,
is.
we had Edge and Regal from that night, and somehow I watched the next night's Raw, and then No Way Out from the next month, thinking that was from the night before because I didn't see the date on it because the way the network orders things. So that was I should have looked up and found out it was a Royal Rumble to put in the notes, but that's on me, and most of us screwed up. So I think one of us watched the right match that time. So anyways, I'm looking forward to that one. 2002 Royal Rumble, Jazz and Trish Stratus. Thank you, Jacob Edwin, for that. Did the dog make a sound?
Oh no, he's out cold.
He's out cold? Okay. That's weird. Yeah, he is out cold. Holy crap. You worked him up. Somebody asked over on the watch party, Joey Sinceri, if you were petting a cat earlier. And I was like, no, that's our Chihuahua. That's our Chihuahua. Wait, the podcast dog. That's part of the lore. Guys, what'd you learn from wrestling this week? To wrap things up. Who wants to go first?
I learned how the Crucible is supposed to end.
Okay. How the Crucible is supposed to end?
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to interrupt.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Okay. I learned that having a series of matches at a Polycult mansion can be pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from one Ziggy Heim.
Look that up. I got the link from somebody yesterday, but I think it's Go Professional Wrestling on Twitch. You can go see the VOD of it.
Or look up MV Young's thing on Twitch too. That's where I saw it.
It's on that? Okay. They set up a ring which featured, amongst other things, Lee Moriarty against Ziggy Heim. By the way, new T-shirt alert for Ziggy. Kosher Pro Wrestler, I think, is the shirt over on Brainbuster Tees. So putting that out there. Also, Effie versus MV Young, and it was basically like in what they say it was a tomato patch in Brooklyn, in somebody's backyard. Yeah, pretty much. They stuck a ring and made a show happen. It was like this secret show that happened up there.
And by the way, go ahead.
I would say, as MV mentioned afterwards, because people were complaining about the quality of the ring, and he said he put so much money into fixing the ring in parts because the ring he got apparently was not the best in the world, and he said he apologized because people were complaining on Twitter afterwards.
Yeah.
And he said, it wasn't what I wanted to be. I apologize. I wanted to make sure I would never want to put anyone in any harm's way. And at least a lot of people on Twitter didn't said, oh, yeah, we didn't realize this was you, and we didn't realize that everything, we're sorry.
Yeah.
So Twitter actually acted reasonably, or some of Twitter acted somewhat reasonably. So that's news.
Jeez.
By the way, Ziggy Heim was also in an unaired Crucible match.
Yeah, she mentioned that on Twitter. She wanted to get it. I learned how much I enjoy explosions and piranha death matches in wrestling, apparently. And then we found last night a actual piranha death match in Japan.
That had to be Japan.
Ooh, yeah, it was like Big Japan, I believe. That was fun. As in, holy shit. No, that was a blast. So it was it was very educational watching that Wrestling Society. Again, all that stuff's on YouTube. You can watch it at your leisure, and it may give you something to kind of pontificate where people are right now and what could have been if MTV didn't cancel this after 9 of the 10 episodes that were made. So, yeah. George, what did you learn in wrestling this week?
I've learned that having shows outdoor under COVID regulations can be a real pain in the butt. We had a show get canceled on Saturday. So
you're going AON, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was considering actually coming out to that. And sadly,
reconsider because they may end up rescheduling.
Okay.
Pretty soon coming up. I'll give you some info.
Listen, if it's a situation where I'm not, where people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and I can like stand in the back away from everybody, I'm down with it. Like I said, I found myself in a situation a couple weeks ago that I wasn't terribly crazy about, but that was my choice. I could have stood somewhere else. But no, yeah, that's as long as we're doing things responsibly. So, and that's the thing. Now we got to do them outside because of where Pennsylvania's at with things. So, and that turns into other kinds of problems.
Lesson 2: you should always remember to wear your sunscreen.
Oh yeah,
I had a mask line.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
There's a billboard about summertime fun and with the outline of a mask. I saw the other day.
Oh, I did a double shot, and I had a real bad mask line for a few days.
No!
And I peeled the hell too.
Oh no! That is embarrassing. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people right now, though.
I mean, it was a minor sacrifice for the craft. Though,
I would get it because I would wear the, I know you've seen the face mask that I'm wearing. That's all the bandanas I get from Baja. So I would get that line like up here around the eyes, and that was it. Like just around the eyes because I'm also wearing a hat, and then I'm out in the desert. So
they shouldn't call it the farmer's tan. We should start calling that the Billy the Kid.
The Billy the Kid. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Dave, what did you learn?
Well, actually, I mentioned about the polycult.
Oh no, yeah, we already did. Yeah, Rizz, we already did.
Now, he did mention on Twitter though that the next polycult wrestling event will be somewhere in the Pittsburgh area.
Yes. I messaged him. I was like,
yes.
Do you need help? Because I am down with whatever.
Yes.
So very excited about that. If not, if it's a private thing, if I can steal an invite off of somebody, I'd love to be there.
I'll join the cult for a night.
That's right.
Have stripes, we'll travel.
Exactly. No, looking forward to that. I know he had some other things that he was going to do. I think he said like that Weekend Enjoy was supposed to start. Like he was aiming to do a no-ring bar show as well. So yeah, so much cool stuff that could have happened. But a lot of cool stuff people trying in the meantime too. Well, as I keep saying, wrestling finds a way. Tina learned that the length of time for all the Raw Underground fights was a cumulative. Thank you. It's too late. Need more coffee. A minute and 57 seconds to that entire night.
By the way, Crucible matches have to be under 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then yes.
Okay.
Somebody did say 3 minutes.
Bobby of J-Town learned that Raw is now 2 hours, which frees up a lot of time. What?
Well, if they're going to do an hour's worth of time for Raw Underground, the rest of Raw is only 2 hours.
Well, but they're not. They're not. Like it's not. Like it's. I kind of wish they would, just to do something different.
I think that's kind of the rumor is that they want to make Raw Underground like the last hour of Raw.
Because it worked so well when we tried this with WCW.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like they're saying, hey, what we can do to do ratings. Hey, let's look and see what WCW did 20 years ago. That worked for them.
What's Queewee doing nowadays?
What is Queewee up to? Has anybody checked on Queewee lately? Guys, it's been a fun night of conversation. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, George, for joining us in studio, braving the regulations and wearing your masky mask and sitting all the way over there and petting my dog.
Of course. Someone had to keep him company.
Anything social media people can follow your adventures on and where you might end up?
Oh, I finally changed my nickname on Facebook to Ref George Ross.
Oh, yay!
You could just search that, and I'll probably come up.
There you go, and find out where you're going to end up, right?
Exactly.
So.
Only Facebook, though. I'm old. I don't have Instagram or a Twitter.
Or find out afterwards, because a lot of these are secret locations these days, I notice.
Yes,
so
yes.
that's been happening. So find out where I won't be. Did we talk about the new faction named the Retribution? Yeah, I didn't see the reference to that, actually. Supposedly that's the people that Molotov'd.
We didn't. We mentioned it.
I think we did in passing.
Honestly,
yeah. I don't
know
know
what
much.
we didn't mention, which I'm surprised of? The Gallows and Anderson thing.
Didn't watch it.
Neither did I.
Also, a friend of the show, Mike Moran, was a part of that production team apparently. Because he was tweeting, he's like, it was interesting. It was like glad I could make some people laugh. So it's like, all right. So I know Zeke Mercer was watching it and was like, what the hell did I just do?
Zeke liked it. I mean, Zeke hated it. I think Ronnie loved it. I guess it's a thing.
Well, God bless them. God bless them for doing the thing that they want to do and finding their audience wherever that is and however big that will be. So good for them. And I hope I get a chance to see a little bit more of it if it pops up somewhere like on their Twitch or something in a little bit or something, right? It was only a $15 pay-per-view, so at least there was that. I wish their main shows were that much. I might buy some. But anyway, we've had that conversation a couple weeks ago, though. Thank you, Rizz. Rizz Plays Games on the Twitch.
Yes, and I do have one more announcement, Sorg. There's a lot of rumors going around. I am Calyx.
What?
I'm Calyx.
You are Calyx? You're a Calic?
I am Calyx.
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 Calyx. Calyx. Calyx. Calyx.
Calyx.
Calyx.
Callux.
So you're a Dungeons and Dragons bad guy. Are you an evil sorcerer of some type?
Are you talking about the Twitch AEW Dungeons and Dragons thing that's happening tonight?
No.
No? Okay.
Talking about the pro wrestler, Sorg.
Pro wrestler.
You filmed him once.
I don't. Listen, man.
Sorg's probably
He's
lost
the
track.
really big guy with the mask.
With the mask.
That narrows it down.
How many Chikara shows have I been to, Rizz?
Okay.
The guy with the mask? Are you kidding me?
That is me.
What? Okay.
That is
Wait,
me.
wait, I just looked it up. Are we talking Calyx the Castinator?
That is me. I am Calyx Castinator.
I don't know what's happening right now. Okay.
Sorg, I want this posted.
Dave Podnar,
And
Prof
tweeted
Pod on the Twitter.
Yep, on Twitter, on the Instagram, pretty much everywhere. Luckily, I've been around long enough. I got pretty much Prof Pod everywhere, luckily.
There you go.
Lots of yelling and screaming on Twitter.
And thank you for joining us wherever you may be and whatever social platform you have been. Please, if you like what's going on, please share the show. Please hit up the Patreon and support us if you would like to. You do get some stuff if you miss the live streams, or sometimes we record stuff off live stream. That will be on the Patreon, and you'll get notifications of all the shows we do throughout the week in the Wrestling Mayhem Show universe. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Mayhem out.